And here we are back for our fourth and final round of Modern Mondays. The matchup we have here is going to be Calvin on humans against. Can you give me player name? Aha!
Against
Lee on Hardened Scales. Just catching up with chat a little bit. People, yeah, I watch people sideboard. If they slam, I mean, again, dredge player. If they slam 4 cards down in an instant, you know what's up.
Like with anger, like
yeah, they're just like
I'm tired.
Here we
I
go.
hate
We're
losing
done
to
with this.
deck.
I have pre-game effects already, and I am not done sideboarding.
I haven't even
okay,
shuffled yet.
You've
These
made it
4
clear.
are in my hand.
Sideboarding level up games are some of my favorites.
Yes, yeah. Sideboard mind games are awesome.
I'll just in and out not play ley lines and just watch people board in claims and like, It's pretty good. But don't do that in the wrong time or you just get caught because you didn't have a ley line. All right. Both players keeping 7.
So Urchin and I were talking about this matchup a little bit before and felt like humans might need to kind of hit a good hand and Hardened Scales might have to hit a bad hand.
I'm seeing a reasonable hand from humans. There's land and a Hierarch and a Thalia. I would assume that Thalia is not bad against Hardened Scales. They have a lot of creatures, but have to Meddling Mage Walking Ballista. Yes, Walking Ballista will just gun down your whole board, and then there's nothing you can do, I think.
Yeah, and a lot Hangerback Walker too is kind of like chump blockers for days too. So I can definitely see why it probably feels like a bit of a tough matchup on the human side.
Okay, Hardened Scales actually taking a mulligan here.
Notably, humans, if Calvin's playing it, got a bit of an upgrade with Collector Oofe.
Oof.
Oof.
It's a big oof.
Oof.
Oof. Collector waff. All right, Ziggurat Hierarch, go. Do we have a Hardened Scales? No.
I expect that we will not see the oof until post sideboard if it's there.
Why are you talking about such mean things, actually, cute bunny? I would think from your name. Rude. Rude. I'm being called out. All right, here we go. Champion of the Parish. Tap Hierarch Ether Vial. Okay, some interesting sequencing here. I have to wonder if he drew the vial for turn, because typically in humans, if you have any of those 3 1-drops, you want to prioritize Vial, then Hierarch, then Champion. And so I have to wonder if that vial probably came off the top. Ooh, we've got the Metallic Mimic Spice named Construct. I know a certain Scales player who is a pretty big fan of Metallic Mimic.
Yeah. Interesting that Calvin is kind of going for a slower game plan here. It makes me a little bit nervous for him that he's kind of prioritized, for example, getting that vial down as opposed to just getting as much pressure as he can early on, as I imagine that that when this gets to the mid game, it's not great for him.
Yeah, here's Mantis Rider, and here comes the pressure. Boop. 4. Oh no, it isn't you, Vibe Pizza. Bogdan 11 is the Metallic Mimic fan that I am familiar with. Here we go. Ancient Stirrings. Gas up. What are we getting? Freely admits it's not the best 5 to pick from.
That's such a lovely casual Magic thing when you just tell your opponent that.
Yeah, I'd usually I can't help myself sometimes at just regular tournaments when people are mulliganing a lot. Don't worry, it's not a great hand. If I knew you were gonna mulligan this much, I probably would have thrown it back. Which says something about me.
I'm pretty sure that Lee has the foil Ursa Saga Forest in his hand that I love.
Oh, I want to see it. Please play basic. Untap. Vial to 2. Pick up a card.
I like
Lieutenant Mantis Rider Thalia in hand for the humans player.
I like the red sleeves on the humans deck.
Yeah, I can get behind that actually. I usually don't like the bright red sleeves, but they're working for me here. Here, counters, 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 counters. But we are not playing. Yeah.
So this gets one counter that. So this went up to 2 from this, and then it gained 2 from this. But
Should I sleeve my artifact decks in white or lilac? Chat. I think I'm leaning lilac.
I'm kind of always lilac or Pepto pink.
I mean, my dredge decks are both in dark red, so I can switch. Here comes a swing for 8 with 2 Mantis Riders. I need to share my opals and baubles and stuff between my artifact decks, so they need same sleeve color. Gonna go lilac. Here's a Pendlehaven, but we can't see that Saga.
We can't, and Lee might die before we get to see it.
After all our talk about how tough this is gonna be for the humans player.
So
Death from above. That's a lethal attack on board, just in the air.
If Lee's passing the turn, he must have some sort of interaction here.
Does he have a way to...
There's no instant speed sack effects, right?
Yeah, I'm like looking for a way that he's going to turn those hangerback walkers into flying blockers, but...
Redraw. Yep.
Redraw off Waterlogged Grove. Notable addition to the humans' mana base, just to make things, I don't know, extra in that mana base that was already very extra.
I'm all about making things more extra.
Good point. Inkmoth is a chump here.
So this one goes to 5. Yeah.
So he's
Thanks,
still alive.
chat.
Chat just doing all the work.
Chat just seeing angles.
Trigger. Combat. You're in it.
So
Boop, boop.
interesting. So really heads up, Calvin just intentionally not even allowing Lee to crack open those hangerbacks here.
Yes.
He had some free attacks with some attacks with the ground creatures, but
All right, sure, yeah.
Yeah, 100% not what you want to do, because if he can't find a sack outlet, then those don't turn into flying blockers, and this continues to be a lethal threat.
Or negative counters. So he's on -1 right now. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I take 4. Take 4.
2/2 Mantis Rider.
I'll pass.
so Lee pumped the animated the Inkmoth, pumped it with Pendlehaven there.
Yep.
That's not a second.
And nothing doing. No answers off the top. Game 1 goes to humans.
It is still very good.
An unexpected turn of fate, mostly due to big fat flyers. And they always bring down that Mantis Rider. You just,
A good
ugh,
player is like
every time.
good.
Humans is this very strong deck. It attacks from, unless it attacks from a lot of angles, but it has a lot of different kinds of interactions. So we see the Collector Oof coming in. I believe that's 3 copies. That's aggressive.
Is that like a Nicol Bolas Dragon God or something? Okay, that's just to separate. It's in an orange sleeve.
Okay, you're right. That's not a Cyber. I was very confused. Vial
Yeah.
up to 7.
Wow, Calvin debating bringing a lot of cards here.
Yeah, I see 2 Plague Engineer, a Deputy,
Plague
2
Engineer
Auriok
seems great.
Champions, I think those are.
Yeah.
We're going to go no on the Auriok Champion. Oh, wow.
I think he
Auriok
brought
Champion's
in
coming
one.
in. I'm not sure that is my board choice. He left out a Collector Oof. So we run in 2 Collector Oof, 2 Plague Engineer, and 2 Auriok Champion. I think
I'll take the
I think it can be easy for people to fall into the trap of over sideboarding from the humans deck.
yes. And I'm not sure the Auriok Champions are going to gain that much value before they might get gunned down.
Right.
Unless you can stick the oof first. So it's a little bit dependent, and drawing it when it's not protected feels maybe a little difficult, but we'll see if he can line it up. And if he does, then that seems very punishing.
I like taking out all the Thalias. I think that's a good choice. Phantasmal Image also seems a bit weak, given that it can be gunned down with Walking Ballista very easily. Yeah, I'm a bit confused about the Auriok Champions, to be honest. Although I like the other inclusions
Ooh,
quite
he
a bit.
decides against. He
Okay.
looks like he thought that one through as well and decided that those were not the choice after looking at what it was going to cost him to bring it in.
Okay.
We lost a freebooter, a Phantasmal Image, and 2 Thalias. I think Phantasmal Image is a huge liability, and so that's pretty heads up. Freebooter doesn't hit that much. Seems reasonable.
I'm far more on board now.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
actually consider boarding in Dismember on the draw in this matchup, as I do think Well,
I
actually,
didn't see in his board. I would consider, honestly, I'm not sure. He's got 3 oof, and I wonder what matchup he's looking for 3 oof if it's not this one.
right.
And so third oof could easily come in for if he's got a second freebooter or potentially one of the other images. The image is just so strong, even when it could potentially die. If
Right.
it copies like a deputy and hits some hangerback
Yes.
tokens, it could just be very strong.
One of those matchups where image is not great copying your opponent's creatures. I know it's something I always think about whenever I play my Amulet Titan deck against this humans. I'm like, oh man, then they could get a prime time, and that's just not fair.
Is playing Primeval Titan not fair, you say?
That's so fair.
If it's not fair for humans to do it, I
have
don't
to
think
pay,
your deck
I have
full
to
of...
sell out and pay 6 mana for it.
Ugh.
Although I do
Yeah,
love,
your 6 mana is so expensive. Wow.
I do love that you can Slayer Stronghold their Phantasmal Image prime time to kill it.
Oh, that's a spicy play. I love it. Oh, Amulet.
But
I think-
I digress.
I just really like punishing greedy Amulet players who...
Oh, we're all greedy.
Yeah, but then you packed for your Primeval Titan, and on your Primeval Titan trigger, you go get some Simic Growth Chambers to pay for that pact, and then I just sandbag the Damping Sphere, and I'm like, good game.
Oh, it's mean.
So much greed.
Yeah.
Don't be greedy. I think actually one of the keys to playing Amulet Titan is not being too greedy.
Yes. Yeah, the deck is greedy enough as it is. You don't need to be super greedy in your lines.
Yeah, and when you hang it out there like that, you can really get got. And so I think the best Amulet Titan players know when to pull back.
For sure. And there are very few that are the best Amulet Titan players, and I am not one of them. So
Yeah, no, it takes serious dedication and work to master that deck.
All right, into game 2.
That's pretty good.
Wow, a rare start for this Hardened Scales deck where Opal is actually active on turn 1.
That is some proper artifact barf right there. I'm a big fan. Cavern, Vial. Strong start.
Okay, well that's definitely not an Urza Saga Forest, so
Nope. That's a Mirrodin Forest.
either Lee is playing mismatched lands or I was mistaken.
I actually like the styling of the Mirrodin Forest here, given the mechanics involved.
Yes. Yeah, I think it matches the aesthetics of the deck. And, you know, Ravager was from
Darksteel.
Darksteel, so same block.
Okay. Freeboot you. Mirrodin Core in a forest is a little awkward, but we can crank this Hangerback Walker and that... sorry, Phyrexia's Court. Phyrexia's Court is a sack outlet.
I wrote it down. Okay. I mean, play Phyrexia's Court? Yeah. If you want to, I'm not going to stop you. I'll pass. It's just force to have it. Sounds good.
Does
Cute bunny. Nice.
Calvin have an answer? It looks like Calvin has a Reflector Mage here.
Sure. It is part of the cost, not the... Okay, yeah, I just need to make sure. Yeah, because it shouldn't be. So it's charge counter here. I'll draw.
So Calvin considering a line with bouncing the Hangerback Walker, and I think correctly realizing that that's not going to work the way he wants with Phyrexia's Court.
The caverns do look really weird. I am wondering if that's just our angle or like something with the glare on
Yeah,
the
I
sleeves.
think it's the glare, because those look funky.
Okay. Sure. Untap. It's like 5 count.
Maybe Calvin's specific caverns went through the wash and lost some of their color.
Oh, bad feel.
Okay, I must be crazy, because if Lee's playing 2 matching non-Urza Saga forests, then...
Yeah.
I'll redraw. Yep.
Crack Canopy. Find live cards. Another Canopy. A little flooded. It's another Cavern in hand. Nothing will be countered this day.
Draw. Yep.
Plague Engineer. That's a live one. Now, Calvin has the option of Reflector Maging the Hangerback Walker. Here we go.
Response?
Oh, I like this.
Bounce that. Sack it.
Okay.
Get some dudes.
I'm going to sack it. Sure.
Plague Engineer named dudes.
Plague Engineer, both a great card against and in the humans
Oh,
deck.
here it comes. Oh, here we go. Don't bother getting those tokens, buddy. Thopter's not required.
Calvin, just save him now.
Oh,
And,
slow rolling the.
have the, so I'm gonna put Plague Engineering. Name Thopter. So those
Yep.
are all gonna go away. Sorry.
Oof.
Maybe go
Oof. The other kind of oof. And Freebooter gets in.
Yeah, if you ever hear your opponent name Carrier on their cavern in this matchup, you know what's coming.
Yeah. Though he brought in the Plague Engineer off the Vial, and so if he never named Carrier, then that would be a pretty sweet little smoke screen.
Yeah, it always makes me think of that StarCraft that like Carrier has arrived. That's what I say in my head when I play Plague Engineer against humans and wipe
You should
the
say it out
board.
loud. I mean, if I were playing that card, I would say it. I would say it out
Oh,
loud.
I feel so mean though. Have you seen like the face of the human player when you do that, when you play that card is like I probably just can't win.
I haven't and now really want to. Like, I think humans is a great deck and all, but I've played the matchup a lot with a lot of different decks, and I only have some bitterness towards the card Thalia, as in I hate that card more than any other card. Here's Walking Ballista. Big problem. Very difficult. Cavern naming Illusion. Wonder what he's got in hand. It's 2 lands and an illusion. Doesn't line up that well against Walking Ballista, as it turns out. I'm inclined to agree. Do you have a response?
Will resolve. What would you like to copy?
Resolves.
I'm gonna copy Reflector Mage. Sure.
Reflector Mage.
Response. I'm gonna ping down your hierarch.
Kill your hierarch.
Shoot your image.
Jeez.
Kill your image.
It's kind of,
That
and
is.
then let it bounce to hand. I guess Lee will not be able to replay
You won't be able to
it.
recast it.
So Calvin's really got to get some damage in here.
Yeah.
Combat. Yeah. I'm gonna attack you for 5. I'll take
5
10.
damage coming in, down to 12.
12 feels rather healthy still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-turn clock where it stands.
Land for turn.
He's got. Calvin has 2 lands in hand, but if he rips a Mantis Rider, it becomes a 2-turn clock.
Probably the correct line by Calvin. I mean,
If he rips much of anything, it's a
as
2-turn
rough
clock.
as it feels, ooh, that
Meddling
is
Mage, knowing that Ballista's there.
fantastic
Oh.
rip from Calvin.
Wow, are we going to see a 2-0 humans win against Hardened Scales?
That would be pretty mind-blowing.
Name human.
And with this much flood, he's extremely flooded.
Sure.
Yes.
I will name Walking Ballista.
Yeah.
Name is Walking Ballista. GG.
He's flooded. He straight up missed with his kite sail freebooter.
Here we go.
Yes, chat, we had missed the life gain from the core, which is why he was at 12.
Sorry.
They are both flooded. That is legitimate.
I land.
Oh,
This is drawing.
yeah, you're not wrong. Scales is distinctly more
That
flooded.
would actually not be a bad draw either.
Of note,
He's not running Hardened.
Lee
Horizon
is
Canopy.
playing some other Arts of Forest, so maybe I'm not insane.
Dismember your meddling mage. Okay, now we've got a game.
Um,
That hurt.
play Ballista X3.
Ballista for 3.
Yeah. It's gonna be a huge Ballista.
Oh,
Comes 4. Graph trigger makes it 6.
Ballista for
That's
6.
probably gonna be good enough.
Oh,
Untap.
I think we see.
Crystal.
So he needs 5 to shoot down the guys in the air, but I don't know if that's
Wait,
the
how
play.
did the Ballista end up with 6 counters?
He has
wasn't
the
it?
Graftland. And that'll double with
Oh.
scales.
Right.
I don't want to take damage.
The Graftland double with scales.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cast for 3, 1 extra for scales. Graftland, 1
Good
extra for scales.
call.
Take damage and I pass. Okay.
Smart, 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 smart.
Draw.
Well, I think that Calvin probably loses now.
Wow, just a 4-4 sitting there being a 4-4. Humans find that difficult. Gun down the freebooter.
Calvin's sandcastle was being very, very carefully held together by that meddling mage.
Oh my gosh.
And now
And-
that meddling mage is gone, the walking ballistas come to stomp it out.
Oh man, so much stomping. And he can what? He can pump it for 2. He's got enough mana to pump it for 2, and he's got a welding jar to regenerate it.
Which is what, 4 counters worth?
Yeah.
You're at
This
20.
ugly.
Taking it.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a single point.
And Calvin's looking at 3 lands in hand.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What a swing. We thought Calvin had this locked up. Oh, another scales. That's only the mana for one activation, but that one activation puts 3 counters on Walking Ballista. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no more complaining about Flood, I suppose. You're not wrong, chat. Here we go.
I'll pass.
Have a turn, good luck.
Well, probably gonna see and draws a Horizon land.
Yeah.
That's a redraw.
Redraw.
What is it? Free booter. Not what you want. I'm not sure this card is great in this matchup at all.
More like free ballista food.
Oh.
No cards. And step. I'm gonna remove.
What do you think Calvin's playing towards at this point?
Um.
Four.
Hmm.
Remove 2 more to kill the plague.
Oof. I am not sure. If he can find a Reflector Mage, he can delay things a turn, but then I don't know what his play is. He has to like sequence exactly Reflector Mage and Meddling Mage, or he could draw a Deputy. Oof.
Okay.
He could oof, and there is no responding to that because oof hits the board,
Right.
Go to combat.
and you immediately can't activate Ballista. So
That's a
if he
good
can hit
point.
oof before Ballista is lethal,
Yep.
then that'll do.
Stays on 3. Draw.
Please tell me his lands can cast oof. This mana base.
Yeah, he has the wait.
I don't remember all the names here.
So he has unclaimed terror.
It's like
I'm pretty sure one of the caverns named Illusion.
One named Illusion, one
I-
named Humans.
He
I hope
probably
the other one
can't,
named
He
Oof.
probably can't cast it, but I think he has. Is that an ancient Ziggurat in hand anyway?
Oh yeah, you're right. He has 3 more lands. He's okay.
So
We have the land situation covered. Okay,
Yeah.
and he scoops it up, not finding the answer this time. Wow, that was close.
yes,
Oof. Oof. No oofs.
Lee
What a big oof.
thanking his lucky stars right now because this is. It feels really bad to lose the matchup that you
Yeah.
feel like it's just like a guarantee that you're gonna win in, and he almost lost it there.
Yep.
I couldn't deal with either.
Going down 2-0 against a major slice of the meta that you line up well against makes you have a lot of questions. And he's, I think, probably feeling, or if I were in his shoes, I would definitely feel a little more emboldened and secure after being able to lock that up.
I think a Ravager.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Good night to
Ravager
you,
would've been
too.
good. Hangerback Walker would have been fine too. Because I have a sack outlet.
Oh yeah, you had.
Or no, yeah, you
No,
still have
yeah,
Plague
yeah,
Engineer.
yeah. Backwalker is not good.
Yikes. Okay. Yeah. Not great.
Looks like nobody's reaching for their sideboards, so players opting to play pretty much the same 60.
Very.
And as I say that, Lee takes his out to double check,
For you. That was pretty good.
but we'll keep his deck as is.
All right. All right. Good luck. We're like
Heading into game 3.
both playing decks that-
It's one of those. So I was kind of mentioning that I could have seen Calvin maybe bring in some dismembers.
Is he running them?
I believe I saw them in his sideboard,
Okay.
and I do think that it's possibly a good inclusion in the matchup just because Walking Ballista is such a beating.
I think that's solid. I would agree with that.
I am will be.
Um,
Are you gonna be greedy or it's such a good hand. Oh my god.
yeah, I feel like human sideboards are pretty in flux. There was that brief moment where they were all jamming 4 ley lines when
It
Modern
was
briefly
one
had a
of anything in my deck being perfect.
bit of an issue.
Bunny, I think you're technically correct. I mean, you know, if you really wanted to do it right, you would shuffle your entire sideboard into your deck every game and then pick out 15 cards.
The only problem with that is when you do it and then you either pull out the wrong 15 or somehow miss something, and then you draw a card that's just dead in the matchup.
There's a mic.
I heard a story,
Right there. Oh.
I
It's like
believe, I think Sam Black told this story on the Pro Points podcast, was he
definitely.
smokescreened like that and pulled out the wrong cards, left in a card that was terrible in the matchup, and ended up winning him a game. Like, won him game 2 when he was down a game, and so they go to game 3, he's like, I don't know, do I leave it in? I just wasn't supposed to be here, it just happened to line up in that exact situation. Don't be bad at life. Well,
Well, sometimes
there are pro players who can't manage it, so.
Yeah. Well, especially too, I mean, you know, 4 rounds of Magic is not an eternity, right? It's not a Grand Prix, but after a long day of work and you come and play 4 rounds of Magic, you're mentally tired. Like, it's very easy to not only make mistakes in your matches, but make mistakes in your sideboarding.
Oh yeah, it's very easy.
Turns out this game is hard.
No.
No one ever said that.
Easy game, easy life.
Looks like Lee is keeping his 6 and Calvin.
Oh, it's gonna go. I think all the way down to 5 here. Yikes. If it's the right 5. Vial, Meddling Mage, Hierarch. It's not bad. Champion. That's not bad.
So what do you toss back
I think you
here?
throw back the 2. You throw back the
2 of the
Horizon lands.
Yeah.
You throw back the Horizon lands, land Vial, Hierarch,
Yeah.
or you could throw back the Champion as the other option. I think,
No, I
but-
like your call of tossing back the lands. I think, yeah, you're gonna have to take advantage of your speed, and Vial's gonna have to do some work here. So
Yes. Vial. And the Vial's pretty safe in this matchup. Then we see Champion, Vial, and Hierarch on end step.
Yeah, play tap land and pass.
Picked up another land, not bad. Cavern of Souls, I like it. This is working out just fine. Can't really ask for a better 5 out of humans.
Yeah. Human. Yep.
We're gonna go straight for Meddling Mage? I don't think that's what we want unless you want to name Scales right now.
Cast Meddling Mage. Sure. I need to think for a second. You got it. No hurry.
Here's Meddling Mage.
Calvin, understandably noting that he needs to think for a second.
Yeah,
This may be the decision that decides the game.
I might name Scales, but chat's on Walking Ballista.
I think I am as well.
Sounds good.
But Calvin names Ravager.
Trigger champion. I'll pass. Drop.
I wonder. It's one of those
Interesting.
questions that would be really interesting to ask him
Yeah,
after the game.
yeah, I think I was on Scales here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Wait, you were on. Oh yes.
I think I was
yeah.
on naming the Scales with that Meddling Mage.
Wow, thank you very much,
Neltrano,
Neltrano,
thank
for all the
you.
gifted subs. That's very, very kind of you.
This is awesome.
2. Mm-hmm.
Double Hierarch Trigger Champion.
4. Yeah.
Free boot you.
No cards, but you got 3 lands and a blister. 3 lands.
Okay, so both names were live.
So now we force Citadel.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Ravager is like the enabler in this matchup,
Yeah.
but not really the payoff.
Exactly, actually. I guess you see, he hadn't seen Inkmoth Nexus at that point, so there was no reason to play that line.
And I'm gonna attack you for 5. I will take 5.
I know Bogdan is a Scales player, and he thinks naming Ballista was correct. Well, I haven't played either of these decks, so
Sure.
I accept my errors.
I'll cast the X1.
It is not just over,
Comes in with 2.
though I guess he can shoot down the freebooter.
Jeez.
You're not the Scales player. I have you mixed up. Sorry.
Shoot
My bad.
your noble.
Pew pew pew. Hierarch down.
And then I'll. Are you empty-handed? Okay, I will pass turn.
I think Calvin correctly takes the vial up to 3 here. I guess he's again looking for the oof.
Oof required.
Yes. Some necessary oofing.
Block? Sure. I'm gonna block the champion. Alright, sure.
Oh, here's Chump. Here's Modular. More ballistic counters. Shoot down champion. Oh no. Ouch. I assume we're going to see
Yeah, here we go.
finishing off. Nope. We're going to leave it alive. All right.
End step, I'll shoot the meddling mage twice.
Ah, we're going to go for meddling mage. Reasonable. Did we draw another ballista, perhaps?
Shooting any human seem reasonable right now.
Ravager. You're right, he may have drawn one. That I think makes that play make sense.
Anger Backwalker, X2. Yep.
Here he is.
Backwalker.
Hanger back, buddy.
I have one card.
Gotta do the bean counting. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to count this.
Go to combat.
You mean to see if Lee has lethal?
I can't see how he would from
If
here.
he's attacking, he probably has lethal.
Go ahead.
He passes.
3.
I think he's just in a very good position. If
Fair
if
enough.
Calvin attacks with the champion, he can make a bunch of blockers. He's fine.
Oh, I thought that Calvin sided out all the Thalias.
I thought he had 2. He sided out. No, he sided out 2 of them, and I
Oh,
assume he's
okay.
running more than 2. I don't think Thalia is great in this matchup.
No, yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
I'm also not a huge fan of Freebooter in this matchup.
Yeah. I could on
Leaving
the
out the third
play,
oof.
I guess I could see it. Well, it's really too bad that Calvin wasn't able to freebooter turn 2, because if he had been able to, he would have caught that Hardened scales.
I'm gonna
That's true.
and before damage.
So that's your pretty narrow,
Right. Lee
Spot
has to
for
lead
freebooter, it's-
on like
yeah.
a tapped land.
and it's a very bad draw late.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's horrible. Although, yeah, I mean, I think once you go late, you've probably just lost. But even like, again, I think I'd rather have Dismember than like Freebooter or Thalia.
Okay, end step,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot your Thalia. Yep.
Goodbye, Thalia. Another problem with Thalia. Lava Dart is in the format and
Oh wow.
on a stick. Oh no. Look at
Oh.
that 4 mana. Here we go. Up to 4.
Combat.
Well, you know, I
Oof.
appreciate that Calvin gave us a sweat game 2.
Yeah.
He took game 1, gave us a sweat game 2.
This was not a bad 5. He sculpted a good 5 here.
Yes. Yeah, I liked his game plan.
His mulligan was very strong. Mantis Rider. Lee's got too much life. He didn't have enough pressure, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, he had no choice to be like he couldn't sculpt a hand with enough pressure.
It's 4.
Just Mantis
So-
ride into the sunset.
Take 1.
Off he goes. Goodbye, sweet prince.
Here, I'm like super dead. You are very dead.
Calvin asks if he's super dead. Lee answers that in fact
Yes.
he is super
The
dead.
answer is yes. You are in fact super dead.
Aww.
Oh, and this round goes to Lee, picking up the 4-0 on Monday night. A great start to the week.
I should have named.
Nothing feels better.
Yeah. Yeah. Really nice. Nice to see Hardened Scales showing up, even at a time when a lot of people have written it off as not being competitive.
Why do you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What
I was like,
about it right now do you think makes Hardened Scales less competitive? Because Artifact hate is a little bit down,
I do want
and I hope Hardened Scales continues to run away so Artifact hate stays down.
I'm not really sure. That was one of those like I actually don't know what pushed Hardened Scales out, because it doesn't seem like the matchup. Wow,
That's pretty sick.
Oh,
that's a cool open.
that's a foil Karnstein versus a Field of the Dead negate. Oh man, that is
That's a great little
real nice.
I don't know. I didn't.
core
I didn't
pack.
decide that just because I thought I would lose. I just
Wow.
wanted it. I just.
Well, Calvin, you get a great consolation prize.
Well done, sir.
This was like really
Some
close.
spicy opens.
Yeah. I
The spice
don't
is nice.
think
So anyway, chat, Hardened
I think
Scales.
that's, like, the one scenario
Tell
that's good.
me about it.
Yeah, I know, but that's like
Why?
the one scenario that I have like, a
Why
lot of trouble getting
is it
through
not
to.
higher in the meta right now?
I don't know how much I want meddling mages. I feel like
Since
it's
we're just about done
really-
here, I would love this last chat with you.
Yeah, I was thinking like these seem pretty damn good.
Too
I
slow.
might actually switch my island and play.
Highly interactive,
I got
but
one
maybe not on the axes that you need to be.
planes in it,
Like, is it bad against Hogak? Because it doesn't seem like it would be that terrible against Hogak.
If Phoenix is good as it is bad, so is the Phoenix matchup the problem? Oh yeah, thing in the ice. Yeah, that seems real bad.
I think that one's pretty.
And that can't be fixed by, like, running more dismembers or something in the list?
Non-foil is like
Um,
non-foil is like
probably not.
Hmm.
I mean, like, think about that bounce.
I
Like,
guess
you have to hit it with a dismember immediately. They
Yeah.
run 4. Like, are you gonna really answer it all?
And you have no way to dig, too.
No, you
That
don't.
Hardened Scales, it's like whatever your opening hand is plus a couple of cards is, like, what you have to work with for the whole game.
Yeah.
And then some things that you can get off Ancient Stirrings.
But yeah, you do not have a lot to dig. And yeah, new Karn is a big problem. Oh my gosh. New Karn is a freaking nightmare.
It does seem... New Karn seems fine, but you can attack it to kill it. And
You can attack it to kill it, and so Hardened Scales. Well, the problem is the Hardened Scales can attack it to kill it, but they can't do something like ballista it because the
Right.
second it hits the battlefield, they can't shoot it. And so if Karn is played in a context where Scales can't get through, it's just game.
So, like, with Bridge. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like it'd have to be the
It's almost
Karn
like
Bridge
Ensnaring
deck.
Ridge is like the best card imaginable in all of Magic.
Like, that card. I do remember discovering that card as a kid and being like, wait, is this real life?
Yeah, no,
was
I
like,
jammed it immediately.
I was like, creatures are supposed to be able to attack. Like, how can creatures not attack?
Take a look at that spice pile.
Oh, people have been loving. There's some talk about Mystic Forge for like a deck that
I'm-
might break Legacy.
I'm all about this. For the people in chat, Ian is taking a look at the absolute pile that I would have played tonight had I been playing. But I would have been playing on like 4 hours of sleep, and it probably would have been horrific. But I don't know.
How do you make sure that the opponent dies from mill before you do?
Academy runes.
Oh, right.
And there's this.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a ballista.
Okay.
You kill him with ballista.
Okay.
It's a win condition. I
Alright.
swear that sometimes I put win conditions in my decks. I mean, like,
Ugh.
even odds, I just don't bother. But I just misery them into conceding. But
Nice. Yeah, well, nothing like a miserable opponent.
I mean, they're really.
That's true.
You're joking. No, I mean, honestly, that's the thing I miss the most about Lantern. Is playing Lantern. Your opponent starts asking you permission for game actions that you have no way to interact with, and you're just like, "Yes, you may," and you just it's great. They just assume they can't do anything. It's so much fun.
You're giving him like a weird type of Stockholm syndrome and like loving it.
No. I think my opponent gets Stockholm syndrome because
Yeah,
they're
that's-
continuing to play.
That's what I mean.
Um,
They're like asking you for permission to like use the restroom after the match. You're like, you're not in prison anymore.
I mean, it's up to they're the ones asking. I never
Yeah.
told them they were. Yes, you're completely right. Lantern is absolutely unplayable right now. I also sorely miss it. See, I was trying to get into a new deck off of Dredge, and I picked up Lantern, and I fell in love, and it was so great. And then they printed Karn, and then I had a huge identity crisis, and here we are. Yeah, no, Scheming Symmetry would be great for Lantern, except it's really hard to justify that Ancient Stirrings isn't just better. Because you have to do more work to make the Scheming Symmetry work. You have to already have your mill rocks set up to abuse it, and Ancient Stirrings helps you set up your mill rocks. And Lantern has enough redundant pieces that are good in multiples that I think Stirrings is always going to just be better. Also, Stirrings functions as extra lands, so Scheming Symmetry for a land just is a serious bad feel and doesn't hit the land drop immediately. And you can hate me. Go right ahead. Still miss Lantern. But anyway, yeah. So that's my thoughts on Scheming Symmetry and Lantern. It would be good if Ancient Stirrings weren't better. Lantern is the best deck. Strong agree. And by best, I mean completely unplayable.
Stone dead to Karn.
Stone dead. I mean, those are
Yes.
the only decks I like right now, are decks that are stone dead to Karn. I'm basically playing only decks that
Where's
lose to
this
Karn.
like...
No, Wurza has this nice
Yeah.
flexibility, and I love
Yeah.
that deck so freaking
It's
much.
very good at, yeah. It's,
You just board into a fair plan. I think the thing that's been really perplexing me about the deck is like a majority of the time I board from combo plan to fair plan, but the fair plan is really bad game one. And so you just can't make the deck a fair deck. And I'm trying to think of other decks that function that way, and I struggle to come up with them because the things that the combo is bad against just only exist in sideboards. And so it's in this kind of unique place.
sometimes I'll do that kind of with Amulet Titan, where I'll just like board out some of my faster pieces and just board into a value.
And do you do it like a
Value
majority of the time? That's almost like a
No.
plan?
No.
Because it's almost like a plan in Urza
Oh,
because
okay.
everybody's got some kind of Stony, some kind of Rest in Peace. Like, there are matchups where you don't
Yeah.
do it, but a majority of them, you're like, shave the combo. Depending on what hate you're like expecting, you're either shaving down on artifact activated abilities or engineers, and you're just like dumping all of that for a ton of interaction and like Ether Grid and Tezzeret and like anything that wins on another axis.
But it's crazy how difficult Urza is to shut down. Like the fact that when you name Urza with Pithing Needle or Sorcerer's Spyglass, you're only hitting the one ability, the 5-mana ability, but you're not hitting the generate mana ability.
Nope.
You know, he's still coming into play with a Karnstruct. Like, you're like, what?
Cards are real great. Yeah, no, you basically kind of have to like needle Karn and Stony them, and then they're just stuck with a bunch of mana, and you have to hope they don't have something to do with it. But like,
Or meddling
it
mage
is
it.
it is hard to pin down that deck. I think the best or like the greatest hope about it is the whole thing is very mana intensive, and so setting it up can just sometimes be too slow. But it is surprising how often Fair Thopter Sword just gets it done. Like Mono Red Phoenix just loses to Fair Thopter Sword
Yeah.
a fair amount of the time.
Yeah, if they don't have I imagine Arya's fairly good in that situation, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
their other plans seem pretty bad.
Yeah. All right.
Well, chat, we
Well.
should probably get going for the evening.
It has been awesome, you guys. Please come back next week, and I don't know if I'll be commentating or just punting a lot. It's usually what I do when I'm on stream, but it'll be cool to see you guys again.
Yeah, we'll keep rotating through, having different people come in and do commentary. It was a pleasure, Urchin, to commentate with you this evening.
This
Thank
was
you very
awesome.
much for
Thank
being
you,
in
Ian.
the booth. And we will see you all next week.
Good night.